Hey up. We seem to have been experiencing a spot of weather here in the UK over the last week. 3 storms with weather warnings, the last of which was quite unexpected. The Met Office apparently didn't see it until the last moment. This, of course, being the same Met Office that recently warned us about weather patterns 80 years from now. I struggle to get my head around that sometimes. Now, both projects that I had scheduled for this week entailed some outdoor filming, and Monday morning, which would have been the day for filming today's video, I got up to high winds, heavy rain, and although the conditions weren't exactly life-threatening, it was obvious that I wasn't going to be able to film what I'd planned. So I decided to fall back on some stock footage, started putting a video together, and after 2.5 hours of editing, it was clear to me that it wasn't really working. So I abandoned the project, and I'm sorry to say I've got absolutely nothing for you. Oh, no, hang on a minute, I've just remembered. I should make it clear from the start that this is purely speculative, and I have done this once before with Royal Enfield and got it completely wrong. Late yesterday afternoon, I got a call from Royal Enfield's press department. It's a long story, but despite the fact that a lot of you think that I work for Royal Enfield, I don't, and I've been trying to get on their press release list for nearly 3 years without any joy. That is, until last week when a lovely lady called Caroline got in touch by email offering to put me on the press release list. Now, a conversation took place. We played email tennis for a few days, and then late yesterday afternoon, which was Monday, I'm editing this on Tuesday, she called me on the telephone just to straighten a few things out, and during the course of the conversation she mentioned that there was a new model being released next month. I didn't ask her what this model was, because obviously Royal Enfield are very secretive about the new bike releases, and it would have been considered bad form to quiz her about it. But as you know, I'm in the market for a new project bike for this year. I have a soft spot for Royal Enfields, and this sent my mind into hyperdrive. Last week I made a video explaining that it was a toss-up really between the Meteor 350 and the new Classic 350. And I asked for your input, and overwhelmingly the consensus of opinion was that I should get the 350 Classic, which I'm okay with that. But then last night I was lying in bed awake thinking about this new model that's predicted to arrive in the next few weeks, and I thought, what if I like that better than the Classic? Buying a new bike every year is a big expense for the channel. What if I get it wrong with the Classic and this new model is better or in some way more desirable? Now, I frequently get predictions from viewers in the comments section on different videos. Over the last few months it's been suggested to me that the Scram 411 is imminent, the Hunter 350 is imminent, and of course we've got the elusive 650 twin cruiser, the Super Meteor or Shotgun, which may both be one and the same bike, or it may be 2 separate and distinct models. And then of course we've got people mooting that there's a new 500 Classic in the works, or there are people saying that there's going to be a 650 twin Classic. Royal Enfield have been very open about the fact that they have a lot of prospective models due to be released in the very near future. I think we would have seen more new models earlier if it wasn't for the pandemic, which has obviously thrown a spanner in the works. And of course we now have this worldwide microchip shortage, which is causing production issues for the entire motor industry. So this morning I did a bit of surfing on the net, and I decided to stick my neck out and make a video speculating what this new model is and what we're likely to see from Royal Enfield this year. Because last year they announced that they would be releasing at least 4 new models in 2022. First of all, the prospect of a 500 Classic, a new 500 Classic, or possibly a 650 Twin Classic. I've got no doubt in my mind that Royal Enfield are planning something along these lines. 500 Classic was a big seller on the international market, and was even quite popular in the domestic market, so they do need to replace that at some stage. But there is no evidence to suggest at the moment that they have a 500cc single engine in production, nor have there been any captured spy shots of such a bike in development. And let's face it, spy shots are the best indication we have of a new upcoming model in development. So for the moment, I'm going to discount that. I think it's a year or two away as it stands. There is absolutely no doubt, however, that there is a cruiser-style 650 twin in production, or at least near to production. There's been plenty of spy shots, including some of an example that seems very close to production standard. Now, it has been mooted that this is going to be called the Super Meteor, or maybe the Shotgun. It certainly looks like a 650 twin version of the Meteor to me. This is the bike that we all thought was going to be released at the NEC show at Birmingham last year, but it didn't show up. There is a strong possibility that this is the bike that may appear next month. But recent spy shots suggest two other possibilities. We know that Royal Enfield trademarked the name Hunter some time ago. This is predicted to be a 350cc single-cylinder machine based on the Meteor and the new Classic 350J platform. The indications are that this is going to be a more economy-based roadster, tipped to sit at a price level below the new Classic and Meteor 350s, perhaps a more commuter-oriented machine. The spy shots of this bike that have been made available on the internet suggest that either it is very heavily disguised or that it's still in the very early stages of prototyping. It appears to have the shape of a more up-to-date sort of non-classic machine, an attractive, no-nonsense roadster. The pictures that are available lead me to believe that this is still some way off yet. We might see it towards the end of the year, but I don't honestly think we're going to see it soon. I could well be wrong, of course, but Royal Enfield have also just released two 350s in a row. And if I was Royal Enfield in this position, I think I would be tempted to leave those two models to run for a little while and establish themselves before I stirred the pot with another 350. The Meteor worldwide has been enormously successful for Royal Enfield already, and I think the 350 Classic is going to follow suit. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense to upset that apple cart at this stage. I think they'll leave it for at least 6 months. Which leaves us with the new Scrambler, which has been sort of whispered about now for about 2 years. I'm not quite sure how many years ago it was now. I think it's about 8 years ago. Royal Enfield released its first truly new model in its 70-something years of production of the classic sort of bullet-derived models, the Himalayan. Now, I have to admit, I've always ignored this bike, the main reason being that when I came to the modern classics and started this channel up, I'd just come away from 15 years of BMW GS models, adventure tourers, and I'd sort of had my fill. I wasn't interested anymore in that type of bike. But since its launch, the Himalayan has gone from strength to strength. One thing I commented on a few months ago in a video, that last summer I was seeing little squadrons of Himalayan riders out and about on the roads of East Yorkshire, which really opened my eyes up to the concept that perhaps I should look into it and take it a bit more seriously. And then last year, my friends across at Knox released an amazingly successful video testing its true off-road capabilities out, and proving without any shadow of a doubt that this little bike is an amazingly capable off-road machine. Last year represented the Himalayan's first major update since it was first brought onto the market, and more recently some pictures of a new sort of street-oriented version have been leaked onto the internet. Now, to my knowledge, this is the first time it's happened, because Royal Enfield are very good at keeping secrets, and these did appear to have originated from Royal Enfield. There's also the possibility that someone has just got creative with Photoshop. And then more recently, one of the bike magazines released some actual photographs of the bike being ridden by test riders across in India. Unfortunately, I couldn't get access to those pictures for publication here. Now, those final pictures that I've seen, this bike sort of reminds me of the BMW R9T Scrambler. It's got that sort of a look about it. It's basically a stripped down, slightly softened version of the Himalayan, intended predominantly for road use. 411cc single cylinder motor, 32 Newton meters of torque at 6,500 revs per minute, and to my eye at least, it looks far more stylish without the obligatory Himalayan girder work. I'm not keen on the Scram 411 moniker that's been attached to it, but you can't have everything. Looking at it, this bike has all the ingredients of a winner. Slightly less suspension travel, which should make it more accessible for the shorter rider. 24.5 bhp is respectable, if not earth-shattering, with an engine, chassis and running gear that has proved its mettle on the market. Now, the Himalayan has had to live under the shadow of the newer, sexier twins for the last, 3 or 4 years now. And just looking at the order by which they've released bikes over the last 3 years, I'm going to suggest that the Scram 411 is going to be the next bike released, with the Super Meteor or Shotgun probably hitting the market in the next quarter. It could of course be the other way around, but it would make sense marketing wise for them to do it that way around. And of course, now I've managed to get onto Royal Enfield's press release list, I can be one of the first to tell you which that is going to be. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section below. Once again, thank you so much for watching this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. I'd also appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Now, if you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell and ensure that your notifications are enabled. I am of course going to be back on Friday, so until then, if you're riding, please ride safely, and I'll see you soon.